My name is Patrick Smith with Gun Safe Academy in Omaha, Nebraska, and the YouTube channel Cure for Ignorance. What we're talking about today is hiding guns and storing guns. I get in this conversation a lot with students in the class and also my friends as to what are the best places in the house to hide a gun in order to access that quickly for self-defense, or the best places in the car to hide a gun. I should clarify here that putting a gun in the car with you in Nebraska, whether even it's on the dashboard or on the seat next to you, where some people would say it's in clear view, so therefore it's not concealed. By Nebraska law, if the firearm is within reach or lunge of you in the vehicle, whether or not it's on the dashboard or visible, it's considered a concealed weapon. So if you don't have a concealed carry permit in Nebraska, the only legal way to transport that pistol, that firearm, is stored in a case, unloaded, and in the cargo compartment of the vehicle. So for a car, that'd be the trunk, or for a large SUV like a Jeep or a Ford Explorer, both of which that I have owned, that's going to be as far away from you as you can possibly get it. That's going to be all the way against the tailgate in the back of the cargo compartment. Again, if it's within reach or lunge of you in the vehicle, it's considered a concealed weapon. So talking about hiding a gun in the house. I have people say, oh, I keep a gun, I keep a shotgun in this closet, I keep a pistol in this desk drawer, I keep a pistol in my nightstand, I keep a gun hidden behind the TV. I don't see a lot of benefit to any of those. Even when I'm in my own house, the gun is right here. It's on my hip at all times. And the reason for that is if someone breaks in the door right now, I don't have to try to get to the TV. I don't have to try to get to the couch, to the nightstand. It's on my hip. It's always on my hip, even in my own house. That's the best place to store a pistol in my mind. That's the best place to store a concealed firearm. That's the best place to store your defensive firearm, is on your hip, on your person. There's been a couple stories in the last year or so where a 3 or 4-year-old kid has been fishing around in the bedroom in the next room. There's one instance, the 3 or 4-year-old kid was in the next room looking around. Father was sitting there in front of the TV with his other 2 children watching television. The toddler came into the room with the pistol and shot and killed the dad. If the gun's on your hip, you always have control of it. You always know where it is, and you can control access to that firearm, especially if you have small children in the house. Even in the car, people ask about putting the gun in the glove box, or putting the gun in the console, or things like that. When I'm in the car, I leave the gun in the holster, right there on my hip. If I'm on a really long car ride, I'll take the holster off and the gun together, and I might put them in between the seat and the console, but still the same place, strong side holster right there. Now we get some confusion with people thinking that a difference between a gun being stored and a gun being there for work. If you're used to keeping your pistol for self-defense in the nightstand next to the bed, you might get the idea that the gun is being stored there because that's where it's kept all the time. If a gun's being stored, it needs to be stored separate from ammunition and inaccessible to unauthorized persons, whether that's children or criminals. If the gun is always in the nightstand and its purpose is to protect your life or the life of your spouse or the life of your children if someone breaks in, that gun is not being stored there. Yes, you might keep it there all the time, but that's not being stored. So since the gun is not being stored, it's there for work, it needs to be loaded. The gun cannot be stored separate from ammunition and at the same time be the gun that you're relying on for self-defense. If the gun's unloaded, it's not going to do you a bit of good if someone breaks in the house and you need to protect your own life. So understand the difference between being stored and being someplace all the time for work. Okay? And as far as hiding guns in the house, I don't see a benefit to that. Keep the gun on your hip. It's always accessible. You always know who's handling it because it's always you. And that way you don't have to worry about where guns are hidden throughout the house. Same thing in the car. Yeah, if you're going through a long drive or something, glove box might be okay if you're going on a 100-mile thing or a couple 100-mile thing. And then if you stop somewhere, then you take it off, put it back on your hip. But for the most part, on your hip, strong side holster, or like I said, in between the seat and the console, so that it's still a very simple draw. And that's my idea of being stored, being there for work, and my thoughts on hiding a gun in your home. Please like the video if you liked it, dislike it if you don't, comment below, email me if you have any long questions or comments, and thanks again for watching.